Testing. We're going to keep this on track. At this time, we're going to bring to the mic Dr. Raj Wadham. He's the CEO of Advent Health for Children and Advent Health for Women. We're going to bring him up and have him to say hello. He's one of our community partners. Welcome, Dr. Raj.
Good evening. I want to start off with firstly thanking Mr. Black for inviting me to this beautiful event. Great gathering at a great place, and I'm fortunate that I could be part of this evening. You all know our partnership in the community with the Early Learning Center. That is, the building is almost ready. I'm sure many of you have seen it if you've driven by. The building is almost at the final stages. You also know that Advent Health partnered with Lift Orlando, West Lakes Partnership, Bainham Foundation to bring Early Learning Center to West Lakes community because I'm with Children's Hospital. I strongly believe that children are the future, and if you give them a solid foundation, you are poised for success. So that is our goal, is to bring early education and high quality healthcare to the children in the community so that we can set them up for success. There is no other time in an individual's life where it makes such an impact as it does during early childhood. Providing opportunity for having good quality healthcare combined with preschool education, set them up for the trajectory in the elementary and high school, everything else figures itself out, as you all know. So we're really excited to be partners with you all to bring this to the community. It's getting very close to reality. I and my team is very excited. I know the community is very excited as well. And I certainly hope to see you all more of over the next coming months, coming years, as we bring this to reality. And we're going to look back one day and say, what an amazing thing this is that we've been able to do together to bring this to our most valuable and vulnerable members of our society. So thank you, and it's really my honor and pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Let's give him another round of applause. You know, it's great, it's awesome when you have the president of Advent Health. Do you all know Advent Health? This is the president of the Children and Women's Hospital. Advent Health is the largest hospital chain in America, if I'm correct. I said Advent Health is the largest hospital chain in America. So it is nice to be connected to the power, I guess. Connections to adults. We have to adults. Let's give him another round of applause. At this time, we're going to bring up Ms. Sanjia Smickle. She's going to introduce our president of each of the HOAs. If you would join us, Commissioner Hill, for a photo op with the presidents. Ms. Smickle, if we can get you to come up. Ms. Smickle is the one who said to me after I spoke with Commissioner Hill, we thought that this would be a Lake Sunset piece. And then we thought about it, then Commissioner Hill said, well, be a nice little gathering to bring everyone together. We do better, we're stronger together. So I said, okay, Commissioner, and I spoke to Smickle, and some of the other presidents, they played. But we spoke and we brought it together, so we're going to have you now to introduce the presidents, and we'll all line up and take a group photo. And Commissioner, we can get you on this side, and we can take the photo. Okay? Okay, talk over to you. Between the two of us, we're going to work this out. You see that this has been meticulously rehearsed. All right, so we're going to start from Rock Lake, Spring Lake, and Donna Doon. You know, Commissioner.
So what we're going to do is bring up each president from each neighborhood association, and briefly they'll just speak about their association, and then we'll take a photo out. So if every president that's in the room come forward, so you can, or their vice president if the president is not here.
Presidents, we need Neighborhood Association President, Spring Lake Manor, Rock Lake, is that Terrace? We have Margaret Hill, Rock Lake. We have Lake Doon, Brian Gibson. We have Lake Sunset, Rich Black. We have Bunch Manor. I think we have a manor. We have one of the presidents of Bunch Manor. I saw Miss Shirley Bradley. Okay, here she is. Miss Shirley Bradley, and we have Lil A. Cole, Miss America Mama. Where's Miss Fanny? Miss Fanny Williams, you know? Oh, and we got Miss Vinnie Kennedy in the house, and Mrs. Floyd. Oh, no, we have a new president now for Lake Man. Can we get together, some of you all on this side?
Going to help him out, too.
Some of you all on this side.
Help him out.
This is the first time in the history. This is the first time in the history of our HOAs that we brought all of our presidents. Mr. Ulysses Floyd is here.
Floyd has been at the helm of Lake Man since the inception of Lake Man Neighborhood Association. So I want to bring him up to the front with his new lovely president.
Ulysses, if we can get you to come up. Okay, we're coming up. We have the photographers.
All right, okay, y'all. Let's squeeze in a little bit, get those choir shoulders.
Ulysses Floyd, Lake Man Estate, the outgoing president. Last Thursday, not Thanksgiving. Anyway, I went out as president after serving about 10 or 15 years.
I have some heavy footsteps to take over. I'm Julie Wynn. I'm the new president as of technically 2 Thursdays ago. And we're making big things happen. So, thank you.
Good evening. I'm Vinnie Kennedy of the Great Carter Street neighborhood, the original Paramount.
I'm Fanny Williams, and we've got the greatest neighborhood in the city.
I'm Rich Black, neighborhood USA, the only neighborhood USA in the city. Representing the epicenter of the movement.
I'm Brian Gibson, president of Lake Man, standing next to the epicenter of the movement. We're going to do great things this year.
I'm Martin Hill from the Rock Lake Neighborhood Association, and I want to just share with you that we are the block captains of the world. We are probably more than 20 years into block captains.
I'm Shirley Bradley. Our neighborhood was back in the 50s that we started. Clear Lake Bunch Manor. Dr. J. Mark Cox was the first president of the Homeowners Association back in the 60s. Then Mrs. Alfreda Gary was a president, and then Mrs. Loretta Williams was the next president, and then I started my term as president in 1999. And so I've been president for over 20 years, or it's 20 years this year. So it's time for a new change. Time for a new change. Our officers were here, our upcoming officers who will be installed into our association next Monday at our neighborhood meeting. And they had to leave, they had another engagement, but they were here present tonight. So I thank you, and I will no longer be the president. I'll be there. Oh, I will be there. But I won't be serving as president. Eric Hill, some of you may know Jack and Ann Hill, their son is taking over the realm of president. So we're working very hard. Thank you.
Ms. Bradley. My name is Terrence Miller. I'm the president of Spring Lake Manor Association, a community in Rock Lake. So it's lots of mentors for me to follow, lots of hard work, and I'm looking forward to the future.
If we have any officers from any of the neighborhood associations, if you are here, our executive committees, would you please stand? To stand, executive committee members. That's like the treasurer, the chaplain, secretary. You all know who you are. Bishop, you're the chaplain, you're Sunset, Natasha. Sunset, represent Sunset. Treasurer, Ms. Mickle, represent Sunset. We got Bruins. Okay, all records, represent. All right, Carter, Martha, okay. Awesome job. Let's give our president another round of applause. And we're going to go ahead and move on with the show. At this time, we're going to bring up Ms. Mickle, and she will do the introduction for our speaker for the hour. This is the #1 secretary in Luola District 5.
Good evening. I have the esteemed pleasure of presenting to some and introducing to others our Westlake Community Holiday Speaker of the Hour. Pastor Derrick McRae is the founder and senior pastor of the Experienced Christian Center in Orlando, Florida. He hails from the humble origins of Avon Park, Florida. A man of strength and integrity, he is the son of the late Eugene B. Glenn and Derrick Glenn. With theological wisdom, insight, and a servant heart, he shares how to return to God and to find a new beginning through faith in Him. Pastor McRae is the loving husband of Taja C. McRae. They have 2 sons, Brandon and Derrick, two, and 1 daughter, Kayla. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the mic Pastor Derrick L. McRae.
How's everybody doing? Wonderful. I pray that you've enjoyed your food already, and that I know I did enjoy mine. Wonderful to see so many smiling faces and so many familiar faces as well. To our commissioner and to all the other honorees tonight and all the guests. Really excited to be here. To all my fellow clergymen as well. Good to see you as well tonight, and I'm really happy to be here. When I was invited to speak tonight, I really began to kind of soul search on what it is that I should say and how I should kind of address tonight as it relates to this grand event. And when I began to think about it, it really began to bring joy to my heart as I thought about what we're kind of doing. We're celebrating individuals, and we're talking about the great work that happens within our communities and our neighborhoods. Something that I really do believe we need to do more of in today's society. And as I began to think about this and I began to do some studying, I ran across a story that talked about this young man. And a few years ago, true story, this young man was kind of down on his luck. And he had gone through about 3 different incidents involving cars from friends. And each one of the cars continually kept breaking down on him. He felt real bad about what was going on. And it was one Thursday night, he was driving down, coming back from Oregon. And he was going back down towards Southern California. And as he was riding on the highway, talked about a situation that took place with him where his car broke down. And when his car broke down on this night, it was a cold night. He was riding back. He became extremely frustrated because he started feeling like, I'm really, really down on my luck. And so he was full of frustration. As he was full of frustrations, he literally walked down to this gas station that he had seen that was also an auto body shop as well. And he began to tell them, I don't have a jack for my car. And as he told them he didn't have a jack for his car, he went in, and the lady that was there was full of attitude, and she began to look at him and she says, how much money do you have? He told him, he says, I don't have much. And she says, you're right, you probably don't have enough to pay for this jack. And so she didn't give him the jack, and so he was frustrated. He's walking back towards his car. And as he's walking back towards his car, he began to post this sign in the rear mirror of his rear window of his car. And it said, please help, stranded, need a jack. And so to his surprise, everybody he thought could stop passed by him. Law enforcement officers passed by him. Tow trucks passed by him. People who saw him because they slowed down to see what was going on, but didn't stop to assist. He's frustrated. As I was reading the story, he used a word that preachers probably shouldn't use to describe his affections for the moment. Finally, this van pulls up. This van pulls up. It's kind of functioning, not on top gear. It's not the newest van,
But this van pulls up, and when this van pulls up, the family in this van were immigrants. He looks at the van that pulls up, and to his surprise, they stop, and the father gets out first. He was struggling to understand and speak English. So he signaled for his daughter to come out the van. His daughter came out the van. She came out, she walked over, she says, "Sir, my father doesn't speak good English." She says, "But we read your sign and I told my dad what your sign said." And he decided to stop. The man looks at him, he says, "Man, I'm so honored that you decided to stop." So the young lady asks, "What exactly do you need?" The father, the guy that's broken down, looks at her and says, "I need a jack. Having some car problems, tire. I can get this done if I could just jack my car up." The man says, "No problem." He signals to his other son, says, "Get the jack out the back of the van." Bring the jack over. And to their surprise, when they tried to lift the jack that he had to lift the car, it wasn't the right size. So they're frustrated now, and he's still sitting here saying, "I can't believe that this is not working right for me." So now this man, so full of frustration, but the father, who spoke very little English, seemed to bring a calmness to the situation. He says to his wife, signals to her, he says, "Get the chainsaw out the back of the van." They get the chainsaw, and the father goes out into the field, and he cuts some lumber. He brings back a stump, puts it on the ground. He puts the jack on it. My gosh, we're in business now. They start to crank the jack up, cranking the jack up. The man who owns the car is doing it so fast because he's ready to get out of this cold weather. Finding something happens now, the jack literally breaks. He breaks the man's jack. The man that owns the jack looks at him and says, "Calm down." He sends the jack over to his wife. He says, "Go get me another jack." The wife immediately drives, and about 20 minutes later she drives back with the jack. The man says, "This one would do it," and they start the jack again. This time the man says, "I'll do this, not you." Starts to jack it up, and as they're jacking up this van, change the tire, the little girl looks at the man and she says, "Sir, by any chance, are you hungry?" The man says, yeah, I've been out here for hours, I'm starving, haven't eaten since I left work." She says, "Hold on." She goes over to the van and she speaks to the mother and says, "He's hungry." They have this plate, this Mexican dish full of spicy stuff that would mess up your intestines. And now they begin to go, and he begins to eat it. And he's eating it. It is so good. He takes the plate back to the mother. The father is still working on the tire. He takes the plate back to the mother, and he takes a crisp $100 bill. He slides it in to say thank you to the family. The man goes back to his car after talking to the mother there, and the father said what had taken place. And when the man gets back to his car, he sees that the crisp $100 bill has been placed back in his car. He looks and he says, sir, I wanted to say thank you for what you've done." The man who speaks very little English says something that is very powerful. He says, "This time it was you. Next time it may be us. And if it ever happens with us, I want to make sure that somebody like us shows up for us." It shows us something. It shows me that no matter what you're going through, investments work. I'm reminded of this book that I read all the time. I just so happen to be a pastor. And so this one book that I always read, it's not ebony, Mr. Black is not even onyx. But this one book that I read all the time, it's called the Bible. And in the Bible, there's this one person that really is like the essence of the book. His name is Jesus. And when I'm reminded of the significance of doing something for others, it's impossible to see the significance of doing something for others without seeing what Jesus did for these disciples. Text teaches us that it's right around the time that Jesus is getting ready to take his final stretch of life. He invites all of his disciples to this table because they're going to eat together. Imagine that, 12 ashy men who are used to walking around for a living on dusty, dirty roads have now entered into this chamber to eat with Jesus. And as they're entered into this place to eat with Jesus, they all skip over the place of washing their hands and feet. So can you imagine the stench that must have been in the room? That all of these disciples are so eager to eat that nobody paused to clean up. Text says that now the whole thing has been prepared for them and they're all sitting around the table and eating. And when they're all sitting around the table and eating, something significant happens. Dr. Spooney, Jesus gets up from the table. He doesn't say, was the meal good? He gets up from the table. He goes over and he grabs his towel. When he grabs the towel, he says, wraps a towel around himself, and he immediately begins to request for the disciples to come so he can wash them up. I can imagine Jesus said, I done sat here long enough, and all y'all brothers are stinking up in here. And now I'm going to help clean it up in here. He shows us something. Instead of trying to get filled himself, he pauses to wash up somebody else. One of the disciples even had the nerve to say, yo, you can't do that to me. I'm sorry, I'll say yo, kind of date my age. He says, you can't wash for me. Jesus shows him the posture that we really want to remember. Because something that I've learned in a short period of time that I've been living is that somebody's last words, last deeds, and your last interactions always is a lasting moment to remember. And when he's going to the final stretch of his life, he wants to remind us that the greatest thing you really can do for anybody else is be a servant. It shows me something. It shows me that, I've been in church all my life. I grew up, I'm a church baby. I was in church more than the Holy Spirit. I really believe that. So I've been in church all my life, and as I was there, something that I've been taught in the church. I've been taught in the church how to be a sword carrier. Because we, the people of the church, we know how to get people straight. But what they didn't teach me enough of is how to be a towel carrier. How do you service somebody else? And when I think about this room and think about the legacy, think about all the things and the great people here, the contributions that has been left and the pattern lines that we're laying and the growth of the communities and the work of the district. When I think about all those things, I sit there and say, wow, if we can take this room and leave this place and go teach other people how not to be sword carriers. Sword carriers? Get you straight sword carriers? And learn how to be towel sharers? What can we really do in our communities? I'm honored to be here tonight as I close for real. I'm honored to be here tonight. And the reason why I'm honored to be here is because you all have given me so much hope to see that regardless of how the new generation thinks it should go forward, you've taught us the only way to make it is through us being towel carriers. We got to learn to be humble. We have to learn to be considerate. We got to also learn to be resourceful. That's the way we're going to continue to change communities, to establish generations, and to build legacies. I'm done for real. And all I wanted to say to you was, thank you for being towel carriers. God bless you.
to stay here all night and say what needs to be said. We appreciate you and your leadership in the community. We appreciate you so much. At this time, we will talk about what we really came to talk about, is reason for the season, and sharing and towel carriers. And if you would join me, Commissioner, we were approached, I guess, Commissioner, about 5-6 months ago, of a resident who was really in need. And we didn't really know or understand how serious that need was. And oftentimes in our community, as our communities are getting older, we find sometimes they have to wonder about whether or not if they need to pay the light bill, purchase the medicine, or try to keep the house going. And we ran into a situation with a woman I call her Mother Daniels. And she called me over to the house one day. When I came to the house, I said, Mother Daniels, what's going on? And when she opened the door, she said, look, if I can get you, Charles, just to show the photos of Mother Daniels' house. And we tried to reach out, and I called Commissioner. And Commissioner says, well, let's call and see if we can get some community members together to make it happen. I'm here to tell you tonight, we're going to show you some photos of what was there. And then we're going to let you meet some phenomenal folks, points of light, who just came and showed up and showed out and made some things happen. This is Mother Daniels' house. You see, after Hurricane Irma, she didn't just have one patch, she has 2 patches. The water would just run into her house, put pots out to catch it, and so proud and just such a strong woman that she never really said anything about it. And she's a resident and very active in our HOA. But these are some of the things that is going on. So what we've done in our HOA is put together an initiative to say, listen, we need to have a partnership. Everyone needs to connect with a senior. We need to adopt a senior in our neighborhood. These are some additional photos. This was the kitchen, the bathroom. Just a lot of things that needed to happen. Seniors First is no longer doing what they were doing years gone by. These are some of the things. Go ahead and progress it. The floors to the entrance of her house. And believe it or not, this was a woman whose husband was a roofer and put the roof on everyone's house in the neighborhood. But when she needed help, this is what she was facing. Now,
Say that.
this is the point of lights. These individuals came through, and this is what her home looks like now. New floors, new furniture, painted house, curtains, curtain rods.
New roof.
New roof. Carpet in the rooms. What else did they get? Blinds in the house. And each room in the house was painted. We're working now to paint the outside of her home. But we thought that it was important if I could get someone, Ms. Mickle, to pass us the Point of Light Awards. And Commissioner, we can have you to stand right over here with our recipients. We got Ms. April Spoonie. Okay. Mother Daniels, can we get you to come up? You guys give a round of applause. Mother Daniels is an institution in our neighborhood. Can we help her? Ron, can you help bring her up for me?
She doesn't feel like she can do it.
She does. Well, if you stand there, we're going to have them to come there and take the photo of you. Can she make it? This is what we're made of, folks. Even when they don't feel like it, they push you, right? We're going to have you to sit right here, Mother Daniels, with the commission. Just help her out a little bit, Ron. You all let the queen through. Let the queen through. This is the reason for the season, right here. Okay, can you want to pass it to me? Okay, starting out, we have the unit moving and portable storage. We have Ron in the house. Ron, I see. Ron had a moving portable storage placed in front of her house. Everything that was in her house was placed in the storage. We were only supposed to have it for a week. I think we had it for about 3 weeks. So, Ron, just want to say.
I just want to say it was an honor to work with Mr. Black, this young lady, and some of the other people that I worked with while we were over there. When I got there, Mr. Black gave me a call. He had said he had called a few storage companies around, and they were trying to charge me for this situation. And I said, what do you mean? When do you need it? Where's the address? I'm bringing it myself. What you need me to do? And he was like, hold on, slow down. I gotta find out where we're gonna put it at first, and then we can talk. So I stayed at work that night till about 6:30, 7, just to make sure that I could make sure that she had her unit so they can get started on this work on this house. Again, units moving and portable storage were about the community. We may not be able to help everybody with a free unit, so I'll try my best to get you what you need, fix your circumstances, give back to the community as much as we possibly can. So if you need us, please don't hesitate to reach out and call me. I will help you out with the best way I can.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and take the picture of the commission. Now, we will also bring up someone who came and repaired the entire roof for Mother Daniel's house. Rebuilding Orlando, we have the new executive director, Abby LeMay, and also Brian Collier. Let's give them a round of applause. These are people, when I called them, they didn't say, well, you gotta do this. And they says, Rich Black, where is the place located? Let us get there, let's get it, let's make it happen.
And I personally want to thank Rebuilding Orlando Together for all the work that they've done in District 5, District 6. I know for the last 5 years while I've been in office, we've partnered together all the way through the Holden Heights area. I think Ms. Benny Kennedy, she was one of the first, her sister was one of the first recipients to get a new roof inside and out, exterior done. And they've now, I think, placed almost 20 roofs throughout District 5 and 6.
Let's give them another round of applause.
And their work has not finished. Ed will be retiring, Mr. Ed Green, which was the president. And so Abby and Brian now, they're going to be taking the helm. And I know about 3 weeks ago, we awarded Rebuilding Orlando Together another $150,000 to do some more work in the city.
Okay, I met this phenomenal woman as we were trying to work things out for Mother Daniels. She and her husband have worked with Mother Daniels for almost about 30 years or so. Without further ado, Ken and Tricia Marginson. Marginson, man, hey, I'm doing very well. All right, she's here with Mother Daniels. I know that you have your walker. Can you come up, or you want to just raise your hand and say hello? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
And when we contacted the individual and said that we need some new carpet in the house, and we didn't really know how we were going to make that happen, and I met a woman by the name of Shirley Nerone. She said she was the big N, and I was the little N. And Nerone is African American Black. So she's here tonight. Do we have Abby here? Oh, no. Pro Source of Orlando. Yeah, someone else here. Ashley. Is she here? No.
Well, to me it was pretty easy when Mr. Black just mentioned to me that he was trying to help. I think he had me at help. And then he actually didn't even know that I was already working with my manager and the marketing director, Mr. James Farrell, and Ms. Ashley McDaniels. They had to leave But we made it happen. We went and talked to the owner, and it was a matter of, what, it was 30 minutes? And he was like, so are they gonna, he said, are they gonna help? And I'm like, well, it's ready, it's done. So we're very thankful, and we want to continue to help. We've mentioned to Mr. Black that we wanted to help the whole community, and we would like to set up an account for the HOA, so all of the members of all communities can come to the ProSource of Orlando, which is about 12 minutes from here. So we are part of the community, and we would like for you to also take advantage of the discounts that we offer as members. So that will be a considerate discount for all of you. So whatever needs you have in your house, just come and visit with me, okay? You're welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so very much. Thank you so much. Everybody has been just so wonderful. I appreciate it, okay? Happy holiday to all of you.
We have a couple of our corporate supporters that we want to go through quickly. If you can send me about 2 or 3 at a time. One of our corporate supporters, and as you receive your plaque, if you could just stand to the side. Lift Orlando. We have a representative from Lift Orlando. Come on, that's that job. You can Lift Orlando. Westlake Partnership. If we can get Faith with Westlake Partnership. And this individual has been phenomenal. You want to talk about who they are and what they do?
I mean, I might be a little biased, but I can't speak enough about the work that this particular individual and this particular organization has done in the community when it has came to health and wellness. But the crusade of making sure that all of our citizens, no matter how vulnerable that they are, have a safe place to rest their heads, and then to give them a hand up. And that is men, women, and children, and has become a staple in all things District 5 throughout many of our neighborhood associations. Whether it's bringing their residents to come and help us build, to help us clean, to help us cook, whatever needs that we might have. And that's our very own Mr. Freddie Clayton, our Orlando Union Rescue Mission. A friend of our community.
I just want to tell you how grateful the mission is, the Orlando Union Rescue Mission is, to be a part of this community and to work with so many outstanding community leaders. It is a privilege and an honor. I just want to thank you.
You know, in every community, when you have to do the work, you look around and you say, boy, where are the helpers? And we are very fortunate in our community that we have a lot of brothers who really step up to make a difference and to do the work. And tonight we are really honored to express our gratitude and thanks to Mr. Ulysses Wiggins and the band. His posse comes every year to put up all, hey, y'all may give it up for Brother Wiggins. They come every year to put up our tents. They come every year to break down our tents for our National Night Out. Anything that we need to have done, they make it happen. All right, now at this, we have one more here. There is a bank in the neighborhood, and I said, well, if it's the bank in the neighborhood, I guess they got money. So that's sponsorship, and we need support for our HOA and our National Night Out. So I met this guy by the name of James Pugh. And James Pugh, he's the manager of Axiom Bank right there on Goldwyn. Come on up, Brother James Pugh. He's one of our supporters, a member of our HOA. And I always say you do business with people who do business with you. We moved our account to Axiom Bank. That's how you get plugged in for sponsorship.
First, I'd like to say thank you. Every time that Brother Black gives me a call, I know that we are needed, that we are proud to be a business member of Lake Sunset. So we want to continue to do work within the community and any community that needs us. Thank you.
At this time, we will have Ms. Wilkerson. I don't know if you can make it here, but I'll bring the microphone to you. Ms. Wilkerson she was the president who brought USA, America, to our neighborhood. This is the first neighborhood in America to receive the recognition that Lake Sunset received. We were the #1 and the first of any black or white neighborhood in the state of Florida under her leadership. Wow. Tonight we're honoring an individual who worked with her, who really did a lot of heavy lifting back in the day as it relates to the formation of the organization. So we're going to have Ms. Wilkerson to just share a little bit about Ms. Brenda March and Lake Sunset and our HOAs.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is an honor to present this recognition to Brenda March for the many years of service she's played in making a difference in many communities. At this time, words cannot express the many thanks for all the wonderful things you have contributed to the community. At this present time, she is now, congratulations on your position, Children and Education Manager by Ms. Brother Dyer.
And I just want to add a point of light to the work that Brenda has continued to do. I know many of you all know her through helping to create many of the neighborhood associations in this area before we had a neighborhood communication program. And that won't be ever forgotten. But then she transitioned to start building the lives of children and families there in the Paramore corridor, when it was at an all-time low where children was not promised to graduate from Paramore. The families was living in the conditions that I spoke about previously. I was one of those kids. Where the pregnancy rate was at an all-time rate. There was more young ladies getting pregnant in Paramore than they were graduating from Jones High School. There was more children being arrested in Paramore with juvenile delinquency than graduating from Jones High School. So through Brenda's leadership and Mayor Buddy Dyer and Commissioner Daisy Lynham, they created Paramore Kids Zone. And now we can say that every high school senior in the last 3 years at Paramore Kids Zone, because of Brenda's leadership and Commissioner Lynham, and then me coming on, but most definitely Mayor Buddy Dyer's assistance and leadership, we've had 30 kids each year that graduated from Jones High, and all 30 has gone to college, the military, or gone to another vocational or community college. The pregnancy rate in Paramore now is under 10%. And when we start talking about juvenile delinquents, we have less than 5% of youth in Paramore that's offending. I say now that is something to celebrate. So I appreciate Brenda's leadership there in doing the work and continuing the legacy of what Mr. Knapp Ford said. He said, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And because of, and she always talk about Knapp, remind me of the footsteps that I'm walking in. And I don't forget. And Brenda, we just say thank you and we applaud you for all you've done in the west side of Orlando, but also in Terrace. So congratulations.
Well, I was wondering what I was going to say. I'm going to put this down for a few minutes. It's so much. I don't know where to start. I would say that as the District 5 liaison to Commissioner, late great Commissioner Nat Ford, my role and responsibility was to organize neighborhoods throughout District 5. And when I started going into people's homes, I started thinking about like, wow, that's a lot to do. Me, one person, all these neighborhoods. But, you know, it was 28 years ago when Orlando Mayor Glenda Hood created Neighborhood Services Office up under Marcia Hope Gilbert. She was the director. Time flies. I'm proud to organize a lot of the neighborhoods and revitalize a lot of the neighborhoods. Just for the record, Mercedes Clark, Carter Street Neighborhood Association I organized. Bunch, Hollanda Manor, they were in reorganization mode with Miss Bradley. Where is she? Right here. Hey, Miss Bradley? Miss Gary and all the folks back in the day. It was West Lakes or Westbridge, which is close to behind, it's like an auto dealership right next to Rock Lake. Then Lake Man Estates' proper name was Demetrius. Dimitri Homes. So we did the research and it said Lake Man Estates. But my proudest is the mayor's matching grants. Doing the research after having my son, they came over and finalized. And then with the faith-based matching grant, you see the dove? That was my creation of the dove. Because I thought that God would protect us in the neighborhoods. You know, we did a lot of different cultural and educational programs in Lake Sunset, Luola, Terrace, the first. We went to Portland, Oregon with Mr. and Miss Wilkerson, and they received the #1 Neighborhood USA out of the entire country. Not just a little neighborhood, the entire country, USA, Neighborhood USA. And Callahan won 3rd place. Then there was the John Young Parkway. I gotta mention that. When the thoroughfare was coming through the neighborhood, there were some bricks that were stacked up. We had this huge cart. We rolled the cart in with some of the folks over there in planning and public works. The red bricks that you see on John Young, that was actually the residents selected that particular color. The school crossing guards that you see now is because of Miss Wilkerson. We were in a meeting over at Washington Shores Elementary School with Mayor Glenda Hood, and they said that, you know, hey Brenda, we don't have that many kids crossing the street. I said, this lady, Miss Wilkerson said, we do. Miss Wilkerson went down to pupil assignment and found the students that were being placed that were walking from the neighborhood over to Washington Shores. That's before they went over to some of the other schools. She's in the meeting. She starts fanning. We have over 100 students. Mayor Glenda Hood said, Brenda, go get her. I was like, Miss Wilkerson, I need to come see you tomorrow. I need to sit down and chat with you because, and then, you know, when we look over at Lizzie Rogers Park, I must say this. We didn't have any money for Lizzie Rogers Park for renovation. There were a couple of homes that needed to be purchased, and the homes were purchased, and they said they didn't have any money. They say, I'm gonna say they say. And the next day, we got a miraculous phone call. And we had all this money to expand Lizzie Rogers Park. And then there was appreciation for all of Mrs. Wilkerson's hard work. She was the 2002 Final Four torch barrier to run Lake Eola Park. So she lit the cauldron, and she was inside this mobile boat or something. I don't know. It was just sliding across Lake Eola with the lights and camera. Like, who is this lady just making sure that she gets all the attention? And she lit the final cauldron, and it was sent to Miami on a boat at Lake Eola Park. So when I think about the neighborhood and I think about all the many years and working in everyone's home, I appreciate you welcoming me. my children, my pregnancies, all of that. You know, I really do, because I learned so much, and there's a lot of things that Dr. Salter, God bless the dead, that she would always say to me. And one thing for sure, she said, when we work on a project, just make sure you involve Killer, because she's going to make sure it gets done, and she doesn't play. And again, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I would probably cherish this for the rest of my life, because this is where the real work starts and finishes, in the neighborhood. And to get to know the Homeowners Association presidents and their family, to me, is just such a blessing. And, you know, I did it from the goodness of my heart. I didn't do it for this, and I still don't do it for it. And I have a different job. But I must say to you, I thank you for this great opportunity, Commissioner Hill, Rich Black, all the Homeowners Association over the years. I spent a lot of time, have my son Joel here, you know, we were together in the neighborhoods, and, you know, spent a lot of time in the community. And again, thank you so much for this wonderful, distinctive award that I would cherish for the rest of my life.
Come and take a photo of this march. That's what it's all about. You can take a photo right here. But before we take the last photo, we have to recognize an individual who has done the work. I call her my Ida B. Wells, Harriet Tubman. She is the type, when she gets passionate about something and when she believes that it is the right thing to do for the greater good, she makes no qualms about what she needs to do. We're here tonight because Commissioner Hill said, let's do it. Things that she envisions for our community has empowered the community. About 2 weeks ago, or a week ago, each of the HOAs received a check for about $8,000 plus. That has never been done in any HOA I know of in the state. That a commissioner would say, I want to empower the people. I want to empower the neighborhoods. I've known her now for about 5 or 6 years. I take her like she's a sister. She is so passionate about all people, not just white, black. She's passionate about all people, and she is definitely a servant of God and a servant of the people. At this time, Commissioner Hill, I know you received 10,000 awards, but this is from us. It means a lot because you have definitely given us your shoulders to stand upon, and we are now moving forward in a different direction. There was a lot in the media that said we're a blighted community, a community of uneducated people, a community of drug dealers and drug users. Through Commissioner Hill's efforts and her direction, all of that has been erased. All of that has been erased. So at this time, we would like to honor Commissioner Regina Hill. Thank you for your support of Lake Sunset, Luola, Terrace Neighborhood Association, and the communities of West Lakes. Your contribution is immeasurable.
This means a lot to me. It's true, I do receive awards, but I look at you all as my family. It was not easy to embrace me in the beginning, because you didn't know who I was. The same narrative that the media tried to portray about the west side of Orlando, they said that's who I was. No one said that I was a nurse for 25 years. No one had said that I had served my country. No one said that I had sat on boards and that I was a leader. They said I was a drug dealer, a drug addict, and I came from Paramore. That was it. And that's all you all knew, is what you heard. But once we started to work together, you saw that I was just somebody that God chose through you all to lead for a time such as this. While there is such revitalization and gentrification going on in our community, maybe that it needed to be somebody like me that had gone through a little something and bounced back to lead and to assist and serve. So I just thank you all for believing in me, not once, but twice. Saying that, Commissioner, we love you in spite of what the naysayers say. We love you in spite of what the media say. We love you because you love us. I am so very proud of the work that you all have done. This work is not done by one. This work is done by many. And it starts in each and every one of our neighborhoods. And what's so joyous is that we're not any longer working in a silo. We are working in unison. We are working together from Paramore all the way to Mercer Drive, all the way to Carver Shores, all the way to Richmond Heights. What I see is a transformational community taking place by your leadership. And now we don't no longer have to say please and thank you. That's a good thing to say, but we taking everything by force. It's the truth. It's the truth. We don't have to beg and borrow and steal no more. We walk up into City Hall, I see y'all, you walk up in there and say, this is what we demand. When people come to our board meetings here in our neighborhood associations, and they come and they come to the associations now and say, oh, this is what we want to do. Not this is what we're gonna do. Cause I still say, like Nap Ford say, enough is enough. So that's why I think Admiral stated a little earlier about empowerment. You can't empower the people poor. You can throw that term around as long as you want, but we need resources and we need money. And so I will say this, and I'm gonna leave it here. Because now this is the next steps. Since I have everybody in the room, let's say the next step. The next step. The next step. The next step. Because we don't need everybody to be a pass-through for your money. It's nice to have community partners, but they don't need to come to City Hall and say, can we get this, and then we're gonna go take cash to people. No, we got faith-based communities with 501c3s. We got neighborhood associations with those, and I employ those that's not to get it. Remember I told y'all that about 5 years ago. Get your 501c3s together and come get your own money. Remember that? So I'm going to say now, what I'm going to help do, and I've been talking with Rich about this, at the beginning of the year, I'm going to hire a consultant to help those that have 501c3s or don't have them. Get your 501c3s together, make them stronger, teach you about the accounting principles, teach you about the grant writing opportunities, the mayor's matching grant, the state's matching grant, and everybody, so as the boys say in the street, so you can flip it. And then it's good to have a rebuilding Orlando together. But Abby would tell you, I even called. She said, Commissioner, I wish I could help you. It was an 80-year-old lady, Ruth, I'm trying to put on two similar Mother Daniels. She said, but I got 400 families, 400 residents on the waiting list. Wow. It's great need. But when HOAs and neighborhood associations got their own money, you ain't got to wait on nobody. You can do it yourself. So that's where we're at. So what's next is truly empowering the community through resources, grant opportunities, but in education, educating you on how to get your own money and do what you're supposed to do and need to do with your own money. And that's how we strengthen our communities. Because what? Enough is enough. Now, I don't want y'all spending all that money in one place that y'all got last week. Merry Christmas, but don't blow it all in one spot.
At this time, we can go ahead and recognize some of the phenomenal people who are doing things. We ask that you come quickly. We said that we will be out of here at 9 o'clock. It's about 8:34, and I will be true to our time. We have Alice and Eugene Leach. Lake Sunset, would you please come up? Is Eugene here?
Yeah, he's right here.
If we can get you to stand right here. These are two of our foot soldiers who makes it happen in our neighborhood. Julie, would Julie come up? Another one of our foot soldiers, is she here? Julie? Is it Julia? Julia Davis, are you here? I see Julia Davis waving her hand. Okay. Natasha Davis works with us with our youth program. Natasha Davis is part of our executive committee. Come on up, Natasha Davis. Let's give her a round of applause. This is the money lady who watches our money for us, Miss Denise Ward. I've never seen somebody that's so tight with money. But I love her because she keeps us on point. Here you are, Denise Ward. Appreciate what you do. Monique Burnett, she's not here tonight. Natasha. Mike Williams, can we get you to come and stand for Monique? Okay. You guys give it up for Julia if she ain't giving us.
Yes, she is giving us life.
Disco people. Lisa Barber, if we can get one of the Barber sisters to come, our parliamentarian. Lisa, she keeps us in order. Who do we have? Gloria, you're going to come get it for? Come on. Ms. Mildred Wilkerson, Mr. and Mrs. Mildred Wilkerson. Antoinette, if you can give that to Ms. Wilkerson first. This is the #1 secretary and the most famous secretary in all of District 5, Ms. Johnny Mickles. Ms. Johnny Mickles in the house. Y'all give it up. Now y'all see her flowing? That's how she flows. Our chaplain, he prays our first time having neighborhood night out in our community. He came and he prayed for our community, and our community has been on the move ever since. Brother Bishop Cornelius Williams. Bishop, if we can get you to come up. Is Gloria here? The person who does our neighborhood watch, and she has chaired the neighborhood night out for the last 2 years. The numbers are at 400. The last attendance, Dr. Tracy Anderson. Can we get you all give me Dr. Tracy Anderson a round of applause? She gets the job done. She talks to me, she calls me at 1 or 2 o'clock at night. And this is the person who keeps us all in line. She's like our big sister, only about 3 months. But she is the person who comes and make it all happen. Our President Emeritus, Dr. Daphne Bruins. Come on over, Doc. She puts that walker faster than any car. Oh, April Spooney, this is our historian and our IT person. If you ever hear on our Facebook that you can't get on our Facebook, okay, that's April Spooney. She blocks you.
We have one more we would like to present to our president, Mr. Dr. Ambassador, wherever he feels like being called, Mr. Richard Black, from your family, from the Lake Sunset Luola Terrace Homeowners Association.
It is great love from Lake Sunset. We appreciate you. Tangier, can I get you to come up? Tangier was supposed to be my co-host tonight. Come on in, Sister Tangier. Tangier, I just want you to say hello. Tangier has really been in the works. You see what's going on with Make London Do, with the partnership of the city, and also working with Tangier, who has definitely made a difference. A lot of the growth that you see going on, that is from Lake London Dune and Lake Sunset. So we'll have Tangier just to say a couple words, my co-host for the evening. Did you all see her up there? Oh, but she's sharp. She's always sharp.
Good evening. It's been a journey. I'm so thankful to see so many faces just in this room tonight. When we started this 5 years ago, there were 7 committed people. 7 committed people, determined that we were going to do all that we could to salvage our heritage, our culture, our communities. So where we are today is, it's a blessing. So I just thank you very much. Happy holidays.
What's up, Diana White? All right, so, Tangier, can we get you to take it forward? And now we will have, we've done the acknowledgement. You know, anytime that you say that you want to do something, you can have a vision, but then there's that person who makes that vision a reality. And this woman, you see her with a walker, I guarantee you, man, she will run you over, man, you will 35 or 40 down the road. I said, how do you do it? It is phenomenal. But I just wanted to say a few words with our closing remarks, and just thank you. Our President Emeritus, Dr. Daphne Brewington.
Before we do closing, we passed out tickets for drawing. You want to do that now at the very, very end? Okay, we'll do it at the very, so don't leave, please, because we want to, we have gifts on your tree, you know, for your tickets, and then also at the very end, we do have cake that's still over in the other room. It's Christmas cake, so please, when we're over, go over there immediately, get the cake, and there are places where you can take it home with you. Okay? All right. Now, Rich has last minute asked me to do the closing. Okay, at the last minute, our industrious president here asked some of us to do the closing. And believe it or not, I did not know I was doing the closing until I walked into this building this evening. But that's the norm for Rich. Okay?
I know your skill set.
Sure. You see how he tries. It doesn't work. All right, basically all thing I want to say, because I want to make it short and quick, is that I do thank the committee that I had working with me. We did it together as one unit, and I do appreciate them, because when you're given 2 weeks to put something like this together, which we were given 2 weeks basically, I think we did, and they did a great job. So, and I also want to thank Rich, begrudgingly, for his leadership, because he helped, to guide us, and he has accomplished a lot with our HOA, with our neighborhood association, as well as being part of Westlake. So we have reached over to that department too. So I do thank him for that. And last of all, I want to thank all of you all for attending, because we know, again, it was short notice. Appreciate you coming, appreciate you staying here as long as you have. And we do hope that all the other events that the other HOAs and neighborhood associations will have, that we'll work together with those events, just like we have come together tonight for this event. So I do thank you so very much for attending.
Dr. McRae, we can't say how much we thank you for bringing a word, a holiday message. You should go out tonight feeling empowered to make this the best. You know, folks are dropping and things are happening, and you just don't know. I saw what happened in London, and I said, how in the world can someone just be so trifling that you would go out and stab innocent people? But we have so much to be thankful for. We are among the living, and I just thank God for you, my brother, and for your leadership in the faith-based community. At this time, Brother David Stewart, we're going to bring him over. I just wanted to introduce this brother. You all may not know him, but he is world-renowned. He has traveled with, Al Green, and many others. He has moved to 32805. we look to do our Rhythm and Blues Festival right there in Lizzie Rogers Park, the jewel of Westlake. But I just wanted him just to speak briefly and share with you what he does and how to contact him if you have any bookings.
Briefly means keep it short, right? How you guys doing? If you have a good time to meet, you say yeah. Thank you so much. Like you said, I do believe that God is amazing. Anyone agree with that? And they called me to come do this. It's on a Monday night, and I, kind of halfway agreed to do it. Limped in here, and to realize that I just moved a week ago to 32805 off of McLeod, and to hear all of the things that are going on right here in the community, I'm really excited to be a part of it, y'all. So that's just, don't clap for me. Let's give it up for God ordaining things that we're supposed to do. Like you said, my name is Dave Stewart. I'm from Tampa originally. I am heavily rooted here in the Orlando area. You've probably seen me play in a lot of different places. I played for Stokely Williams of Mint Condition, Al Green, Anita Baker. It goes on and on. The Jacksonville Jazz Fest, Jazz in the Gardens, Clearwater Jazz Festival, Essence Festival. But what I'm most proud of is to be right here in the Central Florida area, and I'm looking forward to be a part of all the initiatives we have coming soon. Thank you very much.
So they will be contacting him for our Rhythm and Blues Jazz Festival that we'll look at, Commissioner. I just received that, so I'll call you next week to see if we can make that right. I received that in my spirit. All right, so at this time, we're going to have all of our executive directors and chairman, you all can be seated, and we will bring up the bishop, the benediction for the evening. And we have Dr. Spooney, who will give us the benediction. We said that this event will be from 6 to 9. So I want you all to know that we have remained true to what we said. You all will not go home and say they kept us there all night. No, it was from 6 to 9. So Dr. Spooney.
Before he gives the benediction, I just want to make sure that as soon as the benediction, we will do the drawing. And don't forget the cake that's in the next room. So we have the last thing is, remember the honey that's on the table, those are for you to take home.
God be the glory for the things he has done. I must say it's been a pleasure to be here among all of you towel carriers. Amen. Amen. Now, would you bow with me very quickly? Now to him who's able to do exceeding and abundantly above all that we ask or think, the sweet communion of the Holy Spirit may rest, rule, and abide henceforth, now and forever. And the people of God said, Amen.